26th, I think it is today. This day is Monday, May 2025. It's wet. We all wanted a bit of rain. We're getting it. I'm dodging the drops. I'm after getting my jacket wet and I have it drying. So I'm a bit cold of myself anyway. Starmer Ouster 2. Now, the job of this channel is to bring you news, not to fill you with any lies or anything like that, but so that you have an idea of what's going on. There's a number of commentators on the social media about what happened to Kier Starmer's property. One, Moats, the mother of all talk shows, George Galloway, the Scottish fella, asked some questions, and there are a few others. But the bones of it is this, that in the last while, Kier Starmer has homes. Apparently, he's a very rich person. He has homes all over the place. And it must be said at the beginning that he and I are about as far apart politically as you could possibly be. His net zero is a scam and a waste of public money. He's socialist. He encourages mass migration, and he's not going to stop it. But that's the British people's business, who they pick. I would suggest they could do a lot better. I think so far Reform UK is the only game in town. I see there where Nigel Farage is talking about moving more to the centre, which I think would be a disaster. And I'm always on these videos talking about parties that appear to provide an answer to our problems, but are only trying to get your vote, or the vote of their people, and then turn Turk. That's happening all over the place. The people that put them forward to solve some of the soft left's LBGP woke problems and stop it will turn when they get into power. And that's a big problem, and that's why I'm warning about Sinn Féin. What they're going to do, well, we know they're not the answer at all. They can't come forward and answer the questions I put forward. Now, people say, come on there, was it Joe Hayes or somebody says, oh, you're totally wrong, or you don't know about the history of Northern Ireland. You know this and you know that. I know the history of Northern Ireland a lot better than he does, and I'm around long enough to know all about it. Gerrymandering, 1 man, 6 votes, all of that, the bloody Sunday, the whole lot. My point is, how does that justify those who would claim they did something about it, to which Sinn Féin? How does that justify them selling out the Republic and the North with it at this stage to their globalist baloney? How does that justify it? That's the question I want answered. I say that doesn't justify it. They should be building a conservative Republic and North. But they're doing the exact opposite. That's all right. That answers my question as far as I'm going there. Now, so 3 of Starmer's homes, including one which he has sold and has moved away from, were firebombed. And a car, I think he still owns it, might be an old antique or something, don't know, but it was firebombed as well. And the question you'd be asking is, who are these people? Well, 2 of them are Ukrainian models. Now, I have long suggested that Ukrainian men get out of there. That's a dangerous place. That Zelensky take you and put you in the meat grinder in a minute. He'd put you facing a horrific time, just like if you're in Hitler's Auschwitz camps as a Jewish person. So I haven't the heart to say them people have to perish under Zelensky. Anyway, they came to London, England, and they're male models. I wouldn't think there'd be a lot of money in that, but they're male models. Now, I don't know much about judging male models or judging young men. All the same to me, like, you have a personality and you can chat to them about things, but there is the suggestion that they are good-looking male models. And they used to say in the Garda Síochána, which I was in one time, that good-looking young male guards would always get brought up to the super in the chief super's office. I don't know, they used to say that. I didn't see evidence of it, to tell you the truth. Anyway, how did they know about Sir Kier? How would you know walking up a street that that house was formerly belonged to him? Unless maybe you knew when he was in it, or knew him when he was in it, or something, or what took place. Now, long ago, there was the News of the World newspaper, and they'd publish, and in a way, you would have kind of missed them. You'd kind of missed them because they used to publish stuff about texts from Prince Charles to some other woman. He wasn't his wife anyway, and fairly raunchy stuff. And but they got into trouble. They overdid it a bit, and I think they told lies about people who were nearly closed up with lawsuits. But there's no journalists now at all. There's nothing about it in the paper at all. And everyone, all the tongues are wagging. Now, I have to emphasise, I don't know why they picked. At the minute, Kier Starmer is the victim. His property was attacked. And these 3 people are arrested, 2 from Ukraine and 1 from Romania. And there's charges pending, so we can't comment on their guilt or their innocence or anything else. They're innocent until they're proven guilty. But they are before the courts, and all told, that augurs well for the British system. The fires happened and they were brought before the courts, but you can't help wondering. And one guy, George Galloway, there on Mother of All talk shows, he asked the question how they knew about all this. How did they know where his stuff was and what is going on there? We don't know. Don't bother commenting underneath to say you know what it is. All the indications are that Starmer is a very happily married man, and nobody knows who his children are. I don't know. He has 2 children, apparently. Maybe he wants to just keep them out of the limelight, but however, if you're a British Prime Minister, then that's quite a difficult job to do. My job here is to bring it to your attention. I made a video before with Starmer. I nearly go as far as to say that he'd be gone earlier than the end of the summer. Somebody wants to get rid there in this party of Rachel Reeves, that one. And if they get rid of her, they'll try and get rid of him. Of course, we all know they're just passing the baton on. If you take this here as the baton, he'll have it, and he'll hand it. And at the end of the day, we can be certain sure that everything they do will be woke, cultural, Marxist, LBGPQ, left-wing, pro-Europe, all destruction of the British country and the British way of life. That's what the people seem to want, but the people voted Brexit. They're going to have it reversed. And the Tory party, which should have looked after the interests of the people, turned Turk. The Tory party has a black woman running it, Kemi Badenoch. I don't care what she is. She doesn't look to have the mettle of the old British Maggie Thatcher in her. Maybe she has, but I don't see it there. I think she'll just plug the same old green, climate change, woke stuff that all the rest of them have done. And nobody knows why they were so treacherous or what is wrong with the Conservative Party that no good politician can rise to the top. Farage is the hope. We'll see. Rupert Lowe is out of the party. I think he's not wanted now. And you see, the thing about like a Farage, if he gets a grip on power and he gets into a high position, you wouldn't know you wouldn't know what to do. You wouldn't know what to do. And then some say that the Irish put a curse on the British, that they're cursed. No matter what happens, it can't be fixed. It's like what God said, what Christ said when he was on his way to be executed. It is written in the scriptures. He didn't blame anybody. This is in the scriptures. I don't know. Anyway, I think you have enough of that for me. Just to be aware, I'll have to delete comments, unfortunately, if they claim that Starmer is somewhere culpable. Very strange circumstances, very unusual circumstances. God help the poor Ukrainian people and the Ukrainian men. I'd say lads like that want to be male models, they wouldn't be good at fighting in a war. And you know something, I wouldn't blame them to some extent. The other guy is from Romania. They're all in their 20s, and it's said that they're extremely attractive men. Fine. I always thought of attractive men were attractive to women, but I think there's another side of the story as well. But I don't know, I'm accusing nobody, but it's a bizarre thing that happens. And you see, people in their private lives have all kinds of things going on. As Jerry Lee Lewis said, they have a whole lot of shaking going on. And when they get, they may never know that someday they're going to be very, very famous. And then it's too late. That can happen. That has happened before a few times. And we do know that, you remember Edward Heath? He had a boat, Morning Cloud. He was a British Prime Minister for ages during some of the toughest times over there. And well, apparently, I think man's dead and gone. Apparently, there was talk about things with young men and all that available on it. There was talk about the same with, about Lord Mountbatten. I don't know. It's very bad to say that, but there was talk that it always was strange why he came to County Sligo on holidays. The world is a big place. He had Scotland and he had all that, but I don't know. But anyway, whatever the story is, we have to keep our nose clean. But just to be aware, there's a lot of talk going on about these guys. They're charged before the court. Hopefully they'll get a fair trial. I have no idea whether they burnt anything or if they did or not, or what the story is there. We don't know. That's for the trial. That'll be coming up in a while, and they're innocent until they're proved guilty, and anyone else that's connected with them is innocent until they're proved guilty in the public domain. And if they're victims, and you have to give them fair play. I wouldn't like to see any British politician or any politician physically hurt. I go after them for what they're doing, and hopefully to try and politically hurt them. But we can't implement or comment on a court case. So I'm just bringing it to my viewers' attention that it's a strange thing. It is a strange thing. It really is. I can't get my head around it at all. How would you know a house in the street? How would you know a car? Maybe somebody told them. That's a famous man, very rich. We'll do something and try and get money. I don't know. I haven't a clue. See you back, folks. Comment underneath, but don't prejudice the case. Bye. Thank you.